Welcome, guys. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kim Masters, and I'm the founder of Mats Consulting. So, as well as helping business owners with their accounting systems and procedures, which is what I call the practical side of money, I also help people with their relationship with money. And I've been banging on about this, but if you don't know what that is, it's how you think, feel, talk, and act around money. This is where I help people look at their limiting beliefs and their money blocks. And this is the mental and the emotional side of money. So the work that I do is a combination of my 25 years of experience in accounting and finance, qualifications in Reiki, Shiatsu, Swedish massage, and my own personal lived experience of struggling financially. It's safe to say that I look at money in a very different way to most people. So I want to welcome you all to the second Money Chat panel event, which is all about planning for your financial future. Financial planning is a subject that most of us put off. We often delay taking action for another day. We don't really understand the importance of it until it's too late. And sometimes we can be left with regrets that we didn't act sooner. So, our wonderful panel are going to show you the benefits of planning ahead and how they will benefit your loved ones. So, guys, the first 30 minutes are going to be where I ask the panel members some preset questions. And then the last half an hour will be an opportunity for you to ask questions. And if you have a question or comment, please put it in the chat and we will try to get through as many as we can. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the panel. So, the first, and Nicola, if you could put your hand up, is Nicola Abrahams. She's a financial planner with Aviva Wealth. So, welcome. The second is Azim Iqbal, Azim, and he is also a financial planner. If you could just put your hand up. Sahar Rizvi is an accountant, is our accountant with Tax Assist. And Sam Onigbanjo is the founder of Capital Markets Academy. And last but very much not least is Bridget Thomas, who is a financial planning lived experience. So she's basically worked with Nicola and is going to come and tell us how it all works. So, guys, let's get the ball rolling. So, the first question, and I'm going to ask this to Nicola, is what kind of help can a financial expert give to working class people, whether they are individuals or business owners?
I think Asim was going to do this one, but I don't mind answering it.
Okay,
I think
okay.
he's going
Do
to
you know what?
talk a
If you
little
if you want
around
to do no, that's fine. If you want
the
to pass
protection.
it
I
on to
think
him,
just
yeah,
he had a really nice
yeah, brilliant. Okay,
anagram. Is that all
yeah,
right,
yeah,
Asim?
brilliant. Okay, let's pass it on to Azim. Perfect.
Okay, yeah. So hi everyone. My name's Azim Iqbal. So I think the main thing it could probably help you with more than anything else is just the basics of something as small as a budget. Where unless we budget our money, we don't know what's coming in and what's going out. How are we ever going to plan for the future? But more than anything else, if somebody is starting a small business, when you're starting a small business, you're trying to keep the lights on, you're trying to make your business grow. But if you don't have a budget and you don't plan for the next 6 months, how do you know if you have enough money in order for that business to succeed? But more than anything else, like apart from that, is what you want to do with financial planning is you want to protect what you have at the moment, but then also plan for the future. Nicola, is there anything else you would like to add to that?
No, I think you've pretty much covered it. I think the only thing that we did discuss was just the fact that one of the things we do help you with, and that's important to consider, is your emergency fund. That'll be the first thing that we look at. And that is to make sure that you have at least a minimum of 3 to 6 months emergency fund. That's cash that's accessible and available. And you would work out that emergency fund by looking at your essential expenditure. And that essential expenditure is things like mortgage, rent, water, lights, food, things that you cannot go without. So we have essential expenditure and we have discretionary expenditure. And that's more like the fun things, your holiday and extras. So it's just making sure that you've got enough cash in that emergency fund. 3 to 6 months, depending on what your risk or how risk averse you are. So probably someone like Bridget would love 6 months in there. Am I right, Bridget? Yes, or put all her money under the mattress. And then you'll get people like me who will go with the bare minimum because I like to live on the edge. So meeting a financial planner, you'll find that Asim and I probably will work very differently with each person because everyone's so unique. So your situations will be unique. So yeah, but those are some of the things just to think about, I think, Asim. Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant, guys. Thank you. So, second question. So, what are the factors that anyone, whether they're a small business owner or individual, should be thinking about with financial planning?
Yeah, so some of the things I was going to say, so once you've looked at your emergency fund, the next thing you're going to look at is how much cash you're holding. And so it's good to have cash in an emergency fund, but once you've done that, where are you putting that cash? And, is the cash, what kind of interest is it earning? Is it beating inflation? So if you consider inflation is 4.7%, if you're putting it in a bank account that's only earning 2%, your money is not maintaining the spending power. So you need to be thinking about where that emergency fund is so that it's maintaining spending power. After that, and should you have it invested in an account that's earning a lot of interest, the next thing you need to consider is, are you earning too much, or is it above your personal savings allowance? So for example, if you're a basic rate tax payer, if you earn interest on a normal current bank account, say you put 20,000 in there, the interest rate was 5%. Some of them you can find some like that. That means you hit your personal savings allowance of £1,000 if you earn interest on that. If you earned over that, you would have to pay tax on that. If you're a higher rate taxpayer, so earning over 5270 a year, you would be sitting in the higher rate tax bracket, and then your personal savings allowance is only £500. So these are just some of the small things that you wouldn't even consider if you
wouldn't
didn't
know,
know.
yeah.
So I think those are just some of the things, and a lot of the allowances have changed. So if you are investing, how are you investing? And just bear in mind that the tax allowances have changed with the changes in the tax law. So those are some of the things that we would consider, and we look at everything holistically. I don't know, Asim, have you got anything else to add?
The only thing I would add after that, which is a brilliant explanation, by the way, Nicola, thank you for that, is also then the main thing before we talk about any investing or pension planning, in my opinion, would be protection, where we do want to save for the future, but God forbid the worst was to happen, we would have to make sure that your family was taken care of. So ideally, we would work on a basis, or I work on a basis where if your income was, let's just say, 40 or 50,000 pounds a year, we would want a level term policy of at least 10 times that amount. So then, God forbid, if something was to happen to you, your family would be covered. And especially if you're self-employed, what you want to be looking at is a thing called income protection, which basically means if you're unable to work, then you would get a certain salary tax-free paid to you until you're able to go back to work. And what's really beneficial about these policies, especially, is if you were to get ill and you carried on paying your policy and then you got better, but then unfortunately a couple of years later you got ill again, the policy will pay out again until whenever the end term date is. And there is a few other things we could look at, which is stuff like critical illness insurance. But the two main policies that we recommend to all clients as a minimum is income protection and level term insurance.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So the third question is for Saho. So how will financial planning help us individuals and small businesses when we're looking at things like tax? And I know Saho and I were talking and saying that this might be a bit of the more boring side, but for us business owners, it's really important that we do think about it as well. I'm putting my accounting hat here on. So Saho, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Kim, and hi to everybody who's joined us today. And yeah, hopefully this will be one of many, many more that we've got to come. So yeah, so great turnout so far. Okay, so financial planning is something that's really, really important, and it affects everybody. And so yeah, thanks for asking the question. It's really, really important. Tax is a very stressful time for many, and what I've learned with my clients is that it's due to the fear of the unknown. You don't understand how the taxation system works. You don't know what the rules and regulations are when it comes to HMRC. And most importantly, I feel it's just the anxiety around how you're going to manage your tax liability when it does arise. So here we're not talking about evading tax. We're talking about just being prepared and better prepared for what's to come. Tax is something we all need to pay. So the more prepared we are, the better it is. And I think that's also, Nicola and Azim also echoed the same thing, that it's just about being prepared. We don't know what's around the corner. So preparation is really key. So if you've got the correct financial planning in place, you can better manage your finances throughout the year. You'll be able to minimize your tax liability with the correct tax advisors and also maximize your savings. So pensions, ISAs, etc. That's not my niche, but yeah, I'm sure you can always reach out to Nicola and Azim to help you more with that. For small businesses, tax planning is critical for your survival. Many businesses that I've worked with, actually, they're generating good revenue and they actually have good profit, but they're just crumbling under the tax liabilities. It's just a pile up that they're feeling, and that's just bad financial planning. I mean, that's all it comes down to. So if you've got the correct strategies and processes in place, you can minimize compliance, you can maintain compliance and minimize your tax liabilities. When setting up a small business, it's also really important to understand what structure is best suited for your requirements, be it a sole trader or a limited company. So many people come into me, so many clients that come in and they think they want a limited company. And then when I actually talk to them and discuss the pros and cons, they're like, actually sole traders better suited to their needs. It's just things they've heard people say limited company is the best way. And actually, really, it's not, the knowledge isn't there. So I think firstly, you need to decide what structure suits you best. And then you look at the impact it will have on your business and the best way to manage your financial planning. So that's the first thing. What sort of business do you want to have? Financial planning also affects your budgeting and your cash flow. It allows you to manage your business and allows you to grow your business in the best way possible. So it's just about being slow and steady and putting everything in place, managing everything the best way, and then you'll eventually reach that goal. So it's not a short-term solution, it's a long-term thing, that just planning and strategizing your cash flow really and your money. So having a proactive approach in financial planning for both individuals and small businesses can help manage and minimize your tax liabilities along with building wealth. Businesses can also ensure strong and faster growth. So let's all make a conscious effort to become more informed about financial planning and use it to our advantage. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time today.
Brilliant. Thank you, Saho. That's absolutely fantastic. And just to echo a couple of things that Saho said. So I made the decision to stay as a sole trader. So I'm not a limited company. And if I can, I try and put money away every month for tax if I can. It's not always possible, but it's what she said about cash flow, because otherwise then I get to a certain point in the year and I've got a massive tax bill. So thanks, Saho. That's absolutely brilliant. So question now for Sam. So Sam, what can people do in today's world to venture into investment without getting lost in the maze of financial jargon?
Thank you for that question. And really importantly, I want to start by saying that, when I was young, my dad used to work at the British Rail on Liverpool Street, and my mum Oxford Street. So we're just typical hardworking immigrant family that came in, and we were always taught to excel at school and do our best, and the rest will fall in place. But as life has shown us, that would always help us stay ahead of just our bills alone, never really help us get into a place where we could really experience some of the wealth that we see other people experience. And for that reason, everything around investments became of high interest to me, and economics and how money actually grew. And what I want to share here is that money does grow, just like a little baby. 1 minute it's just lying down, 6 months later trying to crawl, 9 months trying to stand up, a year standing up, and then goes bigger and bigger. That's the same way you need to look at investments. They grow. If you leave money by itself, inflation will grow and your spending power will decrease. So what that means to just hardworking people is that you need to put your money in places that it will grow faster than any type of inflation. And that's why the conversation and education around gold as one example is really interesting. This is not any type of advice, but it's education on what is really going on now. In the last 6-7 weeks, gold, that's actually physical gold bars themselves, or what we call CFDs, which means trading the difference between two contracts on gold, has been yielding incredible amounts of income for loads of people like you and I. That income is what we could use to offset our tax, put into our pensions, our savings, our holidays. It's open out there for anyone to see and know. But what I like to share is that if you have a hard working ethos and a good saving plan like I've had, I want you to think about searching out more information about gold, search it out, and try and make your informed decisions, because that is what is currently moving quite fast in the market. And like I said before, with gold, you can actually buy and have a bar and put it under your bed, or dig a hole in your garden and keep it there, or you can actually have it in a safe house. But the bottom line is that it's good old gold. It's what you know, it's what your grandma knew, it's what your great-grandfather knew, gold. So what I like to share is, I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible, because I know investments can become very confusing for people, but the conversation around knowing the right time to buy or sell gold is now. And I would like to encourage everyone here to, just take up some time to search and look. And I think that paying attention to what gold has to offer is something that would actually help people here with investments and with their cash flow. So that's the simplest way I can put it. And I hope that it would spark some type of curiosity or interest in your minds around how you can start investing. And by the way, investments doesn't require anything other than you open up your laptop, open up an account, and just literally buying. You can do it directly. I mean, if you don't know what to do, don't do it directly. But that power and that choice to do it directly is available to you online now. Thank you.
Brilliant, thanks, Sam. And also, just if we two things that I just want to say is, my dad bought Kruger Rands for us. So in South Africa, you can get Kruger Rands, and I'm going to see if he still has those Kruger Rands for us. But also, if we've only got a little bit of money to invest, is it worth looking at investing?
It is, because money grows. It's that little kid, that Booba. Booba's
Yeah.
grown. People think he's only a little kid, push him around. 10 years' time, he's got super muscles. It's the same thing. Please remember one thing: money grows. If you don't treat it right, like a kid, go sick and die. Most things, like that kid we're hearing in the background there, that voice, that's the voice of a kid that is growing full of energy. Guys, money grows. Don't ever think that you don't have enough to invest, because you do. You start with a little bit and it will compound, and it will compound. And compound really means that it doesn't grow 1 + 1 is 2. It grows in leaps. But the sooner you start doing it, the sooner you start getting pleasant returns on investment. But like I said, please take an educated approach towards it. Don't just gamble. It's not bingo. It's investments.
Brilliant. Sam, that's absolutely fantastic. I think when I first heard about investments, someone said to me, compound interest is the way forward. So instead of the banks taking money away from you, you start to get money. So brilliant. Thank you so much, Sam. And the last question is for Bridget. So Bridget, what is your experience of working with a financial planner, and how has it helped you? You're on mute, Bridget. Okay. Yeah. I wonder if I can. You're still on mute. Paul, can you?
Here we go.
There
Can
we go.
everyone hear me now?
Yeah. There we go.
Hi. I'm one of those people who like to put their money under the mattress and hope something happens, Sam, but that's not how it works. So I've always been too nervous to invest. I don't know enough about the markets. So I sought out Nicola's help earlier this year, just to have an expert guide you and step by step go through what are your personal situation, what are your family goals for the future, and what level of risk are you comfortable with. I did numerous exercises and forms with Nicola and discussions. So she really got to know who we were as a family and what we wanted in the future. And then she came up with an investment plan for us at a level of risk that would beat inflation so that we could see our money grow, and also helped get an emergency fund set away for those unexpected life adventures that happen, crises that might pop up. So for me, it has been to get a strategy in place to deal with retirement in the future and to feel in control of my spending and my saving habits, because it's so easy to just think, oh, I'll do it next month. And it just, you never get on top of it. So I feel confident that going forward, Nicola can help me you don't have to do everything all at once. So we've started with a bit of investing, and then we'll look at other things to build as we get more confident.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I think to be honest, Bridget, thank you. I think a lot of people are nervous. I know I still am nervous, but I'm really happy to have met these two financial planners now. And I think does that just make you feel safer in general?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
more
Someone
secure.
that is knowledgeable, it's a professional, they know about all the tax laws that are changing all the time, because you can't keep up with those things.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly can't. So to
No.
have someone guide you through everything, and have someone that you can call for advice at any time and say, you know, my child's now off to university, we need some extra cash, how are we going to do that?
No, that's fantastic. I think we all need that kind of support. So I really appreciate your input. So guys, we have whizzed through the questions, and so I'd like to open the conversation to the people on the people here. Remember, this is being recorded, so don't share anything that you're not comfortable with. Do you have a question for our panel members? I think I did see one in there. Paul is ready with the chat to see what questions we have. So just a question that I had from someone who's not on the call was, with will writing, what makes it legal? So, you know, some people think that you can write a will on a piece of paper, and does that count, or what makes a will legal? Is that a difficult question?
There are three specific things, and I can't for the life of me remember, but I've got them written down, and I'm happy to send them, and I'm happy for you to send them on to everybody. Sorry, I was up at 4 o'clock this morning to be in a BNI at 7 this morning, so my brain's not quite functioning. But there are specific things that you do need,
Okay.
and I'm happy to share that we use a will writer. So I would refer most of my clients to a will writer.
Okay.
Because it's not so
Okay.
simple.
Okay. No,
but it depends. It's very unique. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely fine. We'll
maybe add that to the PDF you're going to do.
Yeah, we'll add that into the help sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm happy to send you details, and even I think I've got a couple of little info sheets that you can give to people as well.
No, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Azim, you wanted to add?
Kim, normally when we refer will writers, there's a specific qualification that they have had to have partaken in. It's a different qualifications to what me and
Okay.
I think it's called the STEPS qualification. So it's like how we have financial advice or planning qualifications. You need a specific
okay. To be able to do that. Okay. No, great. Thank you for, you see, that's so that's part of the reason we were doing this money chat panel event, is because me, for one, I didn't know that. So thank you guys. So does anybody else have any questions that you'd like to ask the panel? No.
Yeah, feel free to unmute yourselves if you want, or raise your hand. So
no. Okay. Brilliant. Well, in which case, I think we will, unless does the panel, I did ask them to be fairly quick with what they were saying. Does the panel have anything they'd like to add on anything?
Yeah, I'll add. I think that there is you know, I think for people that want to generate another stream of income, if you're thinking to yourself that, look, you know what, I need to live a more comfortable life, or I need to find a way of having another nest, or for some people that are thinking that, well, I don't want to keep on working for that in that horrible environment because it's toxic, or I don't want to get on that bus, or there's all sorts of reasons why life sometimes beats us up and it's not fair. And I guess this is why a lot of people are listening in to this money panel. And it's not that we love money, it's that we need it. If we want to live a happier life, you know, you don't want a bailiff on your door, and you don't want to, you just want to be happier. So it's a needing thing. So I think that one of the things that people here want to think about is what I said earlier. It's about knowing that money grows. And money growing isn't a function of labor, meaning it doesn't mean the more hours you put in, the more money you make. That's what I was taught. My dad, bless him, that's what he thought. He thought you work hard, you get paid. But I've seen it again and again that I can work a bit and I keep on earning without putting in that much labor. And that's what investments are all about. And the truth about an investment is that if you have an investment and you don't have financial planning with it, you could make all that money and lose it. But let's start with step one. Step one is, how do we grow this money? And it's about education. When I started off, I spoke about gold, but there are other things that actually can actually help you grow money. But when you deal with the capital markets, you have to remember that you can actually make money and you can lose money. And no one wants to be on that side of losing money. So the first step that people often have to take is to invest in yourself by actually learning how these things work. So, and when we say invest in yourself, we're not really saying £20,000 for it. No. You can really scale it down, and you can sit back at home, and there's some incredible. In fact, they're free videos that you can watch, and there's some that don't cost that much, and you can actually start to educate yourself, and then from that education, start to make informed decisions on what you want your next steps to be. You know, it could be baby steps, it could be rush steps, but the power to do it is available. And I guess that's what this whole panel is about. It's about bringing those solutions to you. Because many years ago, the only way you could invest, you had to go to the bank and sit down with Mr. whatever his name was, with, you know, behind the desk with his gray glasses, and he would look so serious and you feel so intimidated. But that has changed. So please leverage the information we're sharing here now. And please, if you have questions, don't be shy to actually ask them, because there is no question that is a silly question. I've been training people in the capital markets for the last 6 years, and there is no question that's silly. The fact that you've come here tells us all that there's a point of pain that you want addressed. And all we're asking you to do is to literally write it in the chat or verbally say it, so that we can actually, as a team, collectively, we can help you move from where you are to the next step. So that's me on it. Thank you.
Brilliant, Sam. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think I want to just echo what Sam is saying about all the work that I do is to show people that they have more control over money than they think they do. And I think that what everybody has said today shows you that you do, and the choices that you make now really impact the ability of your money to grow in the future. So that is why these conversations are so important. And I would really encourage you guys to speak to each other about it, to reach out to the experts if you do have questions. I know sometimes that situations like these can be a bit intimidating, and that you might have a question that you think about afterwards and you're like, okay, well, please do either reach out to me and I'll reach out to the experts, or please do reach out to them, because what I see in my own work, so I've said that Paul and I got into financial difficulty, and I wish I'd known some of this at that point. And those money habits, and those, even doing things like thinking about your pension, or thinking about an insurance, or starting a little bit of trading. My dad, who is 84 in Durban, does a lot of trading, and he's made some really decent money. I mean, he always tells me it's about education. He reads everything that there is to read. But Sam is right. It's not just about hard work equals money. That all the work that I think I do and that the experts do is to try and help you to work smarter, not harder. So guys, thank you so much for being here. I saw that.
I've got a quick question.
Yeah.
Just actually, as Sam mentioned, bank managers there. Do you guys feel that people are probably less informed because things like bank branches are closing on the high streets and things like that, and everything's moving online? Do you find that maybe your role now as you know, financial experts may be more important now that those sort of, you know, most people would go knock on the bank manager's door, but now that's not there for a lot of people. So, I mean, do you think your roles now are becoming more important in helping people?
If
I
can,
don't know. I like talking to somebody.
Yeah.
Sorry, go.
No, go ahead, Nicola, go ahead.
I like talking to somebody. There's nothing more frustrating, and I've had it this whole week because I deal with a lot of the protection providers, and I'm trying to get more information. And every contact piece that you click onto just takes you to the next one and to a bot, and I just want to actually talk to somebody. And I think, I don't know, finance for me is so personal that I don't know. I mean, and that was Bridget was saying to me, she'd been to try to do something online with Hargreaves Lansdowne and was just like, actually, I just want to talk to somebody. I just want someone to answer some of my questions. So I do think it's becoming more important. I think even, like Sahur's role as they offer so much. There's so much that they can offer because the tax rules change all the time. You need to just stay informed. And the best way, I think, is to talk to an expert rather than go online. I mean, I know you can educate yourself,
But I
sometimes
think
there's too many pieces.
also, I think what's out there, it's very, very generic. So like you and Azim mentioned, that the advice you'll give will be very personal, and it's very, very similar to what we do as well. There are so many people come in, they were having a few drinks at the pub, so-and-so said that they had £1,000 in a tax rebate. The clients will come in with the expectation that, well, I should have a minimum of a tax of, rebate of £1,000. Actually, no, your situation is completely independent to them. You might get more, you might get less. So I think it's so important having someone who you can actually reach out to just to correct those misinformation that you've received out there from other people. They might be meaning well, but what they know is very different to what will be applicable to you today and your situation. So I think it's really, really important to actually reach out to someone who knows what they're talking about.
No, that's brilliant. So, and the only other thing I'll say is that when Paul and I first got into financial difficulty, we were living in Chiswick and we had a really good relationship with our Barclays manager. And we were really lucky because we were able to go in. Nicola's nodding, and she actually really helped us. But Barclays, I mean, Barclays is literally all the branches are disappearing, and I think they've let go of half of their managers. So that's why your role, all of you guys, your role is even more important. And without that conversation that we had with our bank manager, we would have been really lost because she really helped us just to start thinking about the things that we needed to think about. So yeah, so I think thank you guys. So yeah, guys, does anybody else have anything else they want to add?
Sorry, Kim, you mentioned something very important there about relationships, right? Where if you have a
Yeah.
good relationship with your accountant and somebody like a financial planner, with their guidance, you can help go through life and actually plan and make sure everything's okay. But you can't
Yeah.
just do that if you're trying to self-educate. Sometimes you do need an expert. It's a bit like me trying to fix my own car. I probably could do it, but I probably wouldn't do the best job in the world. Sometimes it's best to seek out these people who are experts in their field just to help you navigate life the best they can.
Yes. So it's about help and support. And I think that's the thing. I know when I spoke to Nicola, well, both you and well, everybody, I know you all, but I know that you guys give support. It's not just about selling things, it's about giving, it's really essentially about helping support people at the end of the day.
And
That's
financial well-being. I think that's a very strong thing. Is financial well-being is just, it's so important that people have peace of mind. I think we underestimate that, that impact, and that's quite a strong focus for us in our business is people having.
No, Nicola, that's the thing. So that's the basis of a lot of my work is to improve those financial habits, and that's what essentially you guys are doing. And I think, like you say, that peace of mind is so important, and actually it impacts every other area of your life. So that is partly why we wanted to hold this chat today. So no, thank you guys. I think someone said thank you. Was that someone saying thank you, Paul?
Yes, yeah.
Chat.
I mean,
Brilliant.
just the way to sort of wrap up a little bit. I mean, if people want more information and they want to contact, I mean, what is the sort of process that they go through?
Yeah,
I mean,
so what we're going to
initial-
do, yeah, so thank you, Paul. That's a great question. So when we were chatting on Friday, we Sam actually suggested that we offer you guys a help sheet And everybody of the panel has is going to add something to it. So we've got some further information on something called PIPSI. So Azim, it's, I think, protection, income protection, pensions, savings, and investments. That's from Azim. So Nicola is going to help you with how you can assess your tax health score, financial clarity score, and see whether you are retirement ready. Sam is going to give some tips on thinking about investment, and Saho is going to give some tax tips. And what we're going to do is, we haven't got it quite ready for today, but when we send out the recording, we're going to give you guys the opportunity to download this help sheet, and it's going to have everybody's contact details on it. So you will be able to reach out and have those conversations with anybody and ask those questions. So guys, just before we wrap up, we're going to be early, which is amazing. I just want to say that the idea for this Money Chat panel event came from, I run something called a Money Chat. And the Money Chats are informal group discussions where we talk about money, funny enough, and we share experiences and we find help and support in a non-judgmental, collaborative and proactive environment. And on the last Money Chat, we were all talking about financial planning, and not many of us knew much about it except for the financial planners. And that was why we came up with the idea of doing this, because it's really, really important. And so that is the type of thing that we sometimes talk about in the Money Chat. The next Money Chat is going to be on the 16th of May from 10 to 11. It's going to be on Zoom. Paul is going to add the link into the chat.
Yeah, not at the moment. It's not. Oh.
He's not?
It's not working at the moment. I can't copy the link.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll add it into the email as well. That's absolutely fine. I add it into the email. This has been a collaboration between us and Enterprise Nation, and obviously the experts. And we also have a Money Chat group on Enterprise Nation. So you can register as a free member on Enterprise Nation. I love Enterprise Nation. So if you fancy it, have a look and do register. Just to say thank you so much to the panel members for the expertise. Thank you for everybody for hopping on and listening. I know the Zoom link was a bit of a pain. Next time I will send a direct Zoom link to make it easier for everyone. So I look forward to welcoming you to the Money Chats group at a future time. Yeah, Paul's put the link in the chat. And yeah, just thank you so much for being here. I hope this has been the whole point of this session has been just to introduce you to the experts and the concepts and to get you thinking. And I hope that this has done that. But please reach out if you want every extra help. It's an absolute pleasure. So guys, we are 15 minutes early. Unless anybody has any further questions, I'm going to call it a day, and you can get 15 minutes of your life back. So like I said, thank you so much to everybody for being here, and I look forward to seeing you soon.